This is Richard Chaves. Here I am at the $2 late fee and podcasting after dark. Wow, what an experience. This has been probably one of the greatest experiences of my life. My very first podcast. I'm sure that their ratings are going to go through the roof now that I've been on the show because I am one of the greatest guys in the entire world. Of course, everybody knows that I'm playing games. These guys are just a bunch of slywood, peckerheaded son of a bitches. I love them very much.
We do an annual podcast connection with Podcasting After Dark, $2 late fee, the crossover episode. And today we have Richard Chaves on our show. It's an honor to have you, sir, to be on our show. Thank you so much for being on. Sir came out. It's a little surly.
Wow. Are you going to the mall later is what I'm asking.
I'll try that again.
Welcome, Richard. No, see, we added it. We said we edit, so we can always edit.
We can always
but
edit.
I'm not gonna.
Well, there's going to be a lot of editing on this. No, I'm really happy to be here. This is my very first podcast ever. I mean, and my first foray into the social media world with a new Instagram, R Chaves official, Chaves.
Welcome.
And man, oh man, to be on a nominated podcast is I mean, of all things, this is fantastic. And you guys are great. I mean,
Thank you.
the audience must know that I've been here for about a half an hour or so, and you guys are just really cool.
No, it's very nice of you to say. I mean, by the time this airs, maybe we'll know more about that nomination situation, but maybe not. I don't know. But either way, great to have you. The fact that your first podcast is awesome. How are you liking this kind of foray into Instagram and this?
I'll tell you,
this new you.
Yeah, I became like pretty big, a little big, back in the the 80s, the late 80s and early 90s when this whole thing was just beginning. Okay.
Right.
I mean, I remember my answering machine at home, and you can't have a camera, to take pictures and stuff like that.
Right.
Remember that, kids? Remember that?
Holy scamoles, man. It was just a totally different world. It was completely different. And at the same time, and the next thing I know, about 89 or 90, and I was going to a lot of sci-fi conventions. And the next thing I know, some fans showed up at my mom's house, and then they showed up at my dad's house. And then the next, I bought with my.
That seems unsettling.
It was a little unsettling.
Right. That's not by design.
And this is back in the late 80s.
Right.
And I didn't give them the address or anything.
Right.
I mean, they got it over the internet somehow,
Okay.
But I really, over all the years, I've had some incredible fans, some very loyal fans. I have some fans in England. The Dominoes, they call themselves, and they've been with me from War of the Worlds and Predator.
Wow.
And I got to tell you, but it got a little bit scary every now and then. I mean, it really does.
Fair enough.
I mean, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. It's still scary to this day. But
no one showed up at your door with like a heat sensor to take your
really close, Zach. I mean, I got to tell you, there were even today. I mean, if you go on the internet, they know where I live. They got my number. They've got all my stuff. And a couple of people have showed up, at my door, and it'll probably get a little bit heavier. But that's part of the deal. Okay.
Well, I want to roll back a little bit to the inception of how you got on the show, because when Dustin and I and Corey were doing these podcasts way back when. And started interviewing people associated with the movies that we love. I personally have my short list of people that I wanted to have on the show. You have always been on that list.
Wowie.
I've always wanted you to come on, and we have our ways, connections. We have a lot of mutual connections in the world with people. That's how we get them on typically, but never connected to you. And then about maybe a few months back in the spring of 2024, there was a screening of Predator at the
American Legion
in
Pacific Palisades.
Correct. Thank you.
My American Legion, the Ronald Reagan Post 283 American Legion, Pacific Palisades. I've been a member there for 32 years.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because you're a military guy.
Vietnam veteran.
Wow. Well,
Yes.
thank you for your service.
No,
Yeah, thank you for your service.
Thank
I run another podcast called Territory Marks with a professional wrestler named Paul London, and he was at that screening. He's like, Zach, you got to come. I
Wow.
think I was out of town or something.
Hmm.
And he went, he met you, and he's like, wow, it was a great experience. You spent a lot of time with the fans and signed autographs and did a little Q&A and whatnot. And I thought, we have to have you on now. We have to make this happen, you know? And lo and behold, here we go.
Here we go. I got to tell you, it was a great night. Yet they had been talking about, you know, showing the movie for a long time, and Predator. Wow. The military people, a lot of military people, you know, are really into it, and it's just an amazing life that it's had and continues to have. And you know how I got the part was that John McTiernan, well, Jackie Birch brought me in for Three Amigos. Okay.
Okay.
And Tony Planet got the part. My biggest takeaway from that interview at Universal, okay, was that I made them laugh. Okay. I made them laugh. And that's when I walked out of that office, I thought, man, this is it,
Did
baby.
your job. Yeah.
Oh man, this is it.
Were you in the Black Tower?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was Steve Martin and Chevy Chase and
Martin Short. Yeah.
Martin Short. I mean, you know, I love Martin Short, but anyway, and all of them. But anyway, Jackie said, and I was doing a play. I was doing the play that I co-authored about Vietnam tracers.
Tracers, yeah.
And which we had done in 81, and then Gary Sinise did it. We did it at the Public, the Royal Court Theatre in London, and this was a homecoming to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And Jackie saw it, brought me in for Three Amigos, and she goes, look, Richard, you didn't get it, but I'm going to bring John McTiernan. She didn't say, I'm going to bring somebody tomorrow night, and I want you to be on your best, okay? And I was. And then I got a phone call to go to 20th Century Fox and for this movie called The Hunter. It was the original name of the movie.
Not a remake of the Steve McQueen film, correct?
No, or the TV show, right?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
No, this
Yeah.
is a gigantic story. But anyway, so
I have to cut you off really quickly.
Yes, sir.
Hefe in Three Amigos, Tony Plano, tremendous actor as well.
oh,
His
he's
own
the
right.
greatest.
What a difference that would have made if you're
Oh,
cast in that.
oh my God. Well, I'd walk into a casting, you know, in the old days when you got to go into the office and you could see your competition there.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Today it's bogus
Right.
as HELL. Okay.
Yep.
Give me a freaking break.
You can swear, you can say
Yeah.
shit.
You know, come on, man. But it was so,
Yeah.
it's kind of frustrating now.
Totally.
Totally frustrating. And I'd walk in and there'd be Tony. And I walk into another, there'd be Tony.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be Tony and me. And, you know, some of the bunch of the same guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I walked into an interview one time and there was John Saxon.
Hmm.
John Saxon.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not going to compete against John Saxon. Are you out of your mind? This is one of the great, great actors.
Right.
But I was able to take a picture with him and I'm really not sure whether he got the job or I don't know who got that particular gig.
Okay.
But so
Hunter.
Hunter,
The Hunter, right?
The Hunter.
that son of a gun. So I go into the office. It was Joel Silver's office. Okay. And I had the script and which I still have with Hunter on it. And McTiernan grabs the script out of my hand and he goes, I just want to tell me your story. And I told him my life story and went back. They called me in again and I went into the office and there was Joel Silver, John, Jackie Birch, John Davis, Larry Gordon, and Arnold. And I walked into the office and Joel said, is Richard who you want to play Poncho? And he said, yes. McTiernan said, yes. And
Nice.
man,
I mean, what
I mean,
what an endorsement there.
didn't have to read a single word. Okay.
Wow.
And he looked at John Davis and he looked at Larry and Arnold. Is Richard, you know, oh, he did ask me, he goes, what do you think of the part? And I said, you know, you're going to have somebody that knows what they're doing. Okay. What they're doing in the jungle. I said, and I know what I'm doing with the weapons and everything like that. I've been there.
Right.
And Joel looked at Jackie and said, "Set him right in front of me, man." And here I am. I'm going, "Oh,
Good day.
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. It's so wonderful. I'm going to make you proud. I'm going to be." And
Yeah,
Jackie
yeah.
came up from behind me and went, "Oh,
Yeah, stop.
Shut your mouth. Let's go.
come on, Richard. Don't say anything
I
else."
love all you.
Oh yeah, wonderful, great. Can't wait to see you.
You like me. You really like me.
Yeah, they really did, man. I couldn't believe it. But I got to tell you, the whole experience. And one thing I will say, okay, and I want this to go public, okay, because a lot of people don't realize that I knew as soon as I read the script, and then, well, the next thing that happened, let me go back. The next thing that happened was that I got a call from Maggie Henderson from Henderson Hogan. Maggie Henderson was one of the greatest agents ever, okay, and Hogan, Jerry Hogan in New York. Jerry Hogan was the executor of No Cowards Estate. Okay.
Okay.
He was huge, huge. And got a call from Maggie and she goes, "They want you at Gold's Gym tomorrow morning at 6:00. I said, "What?" This is like 2 months before, yeah.
Did you not know who Maggie was, or you had signed with her at that point? Or you said
Maggie, oh yeah, Maggie
Yeah.
Henderson signed me when she saw me in Tracers at the
Okay,
Odyssey
okay,
Theater in
okay,
1980.
nice.
So
Got it.
I'd
Right.
been with her for a
Okay.
while, okay. And she goes, "They want you at the gym tomorrow morning, Gold Gym, 6:00. I said, "Wait a minute, what?" He said,
That's early.
you're gonna be working, you know, if they want you there." And I said, "Do I have to?" Do I have to?
The old military slogan.
Oh, do I have to? Yeah. Oh man.
All right, Master
What-
Chief.
yeah, right.
Tomorrow.
What do I got to
Right,
do?
Right.
Yeah. Wait a minute. What have I got to do? Right.
Gonna go to the
And so-
beach, but all right.
You're going to go play golf or something. Jesus. So anyway, I said, "Okay, that's it." And frankly, honestly, it was probably one of the best things that I was able to do because it really started to get me back in really good shape.
Mm.
Okay. We worked out for a couple of months.
Was
and
the whole cast with you, or was this just
just,
like
just about the whole cast.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I
it
mean,
was-
it was mandatory for everybody. I wasn't the only one.
right? Okay,
Okay.
so you,
Thank God,
Okay.
except for Sunday. Every day except for Sunday.
Wow.
For those
Wow.
couple of months before we even went down there.
Wow.
Okay. We were all there and it was pretty incredible. And then we would go out and have breakfast, okay, afterwards at
Did you go
the
to-
Rose Cafe
Oh,
in
okay.
Venice.
Yeah.
It was that's where Arnold, you know, he wants to go to the Rose Cafe. We're
Yeah.
going to the Rose Cafe.
right.
Right down the street from Gold. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can
yeah.
walk.
And so it was. Now I think it's over. I think Gold's is in another location.
They
up there.
moved it, but it's still in that area.
Oh yeah, it's still
Yeah.
in the area. But it was really good. You know, usually my weight is about 165 pounds, and I went from 165 to about 185.
All muscle.
Wow.
A lot of muscle. A lot of muscle.
Dude.
You know, God. And so
That's
now
amazing.
now 40 years later, or what, at 30, 38, whatever, how many years later, I'm trying to do it again. I mean, at least to get the tone.
Yeah,
okay?
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I looked down one day and I couldn't see my feet, and I said, "Whoa, okay,
No way.
that's it." No, it wasn't. I could see my
Because you
feet.
look physically, you look the
Mhm.
same as
No,
you did 40 some odd years ago, you know,
God
almost
bless you,
40
man.
years.
Yeah.
Sincerely.
I've been working on it. If you would have seen me 15 years ago, it would have been a totally different
It's
story.
paying off.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I came close. I came really close to dying about 15 years ago, hemorrhaging and doing things that I really shouldn't have been doing. And I've been sober for like 15, almost 16 years.
That's
Well, that's
great.
awesome.
And,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I had a lot of fun. You know, the Marine Corps, my dad was a Marine. That almost got me. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I went to Vietnam. That almost got me. That was really close. And the disco days, they were tough, man. I mean, I barely
Yeah.
made it through the
Yeah,
disco
yeah.
days. So let's go dancing. Let's go party.
Come on, those nights on
Hello.
Broadway, you know?
Oh, man. Woo. But, you know, those were the days. Those were the times, you know.
So you're
And-
coming out of that, coming into this
Mhm.
prep work for Predator 2 months prior,
Mhm.
getting up at 6 in the morning and doing that 6 days a week.
6
right?
days, yeah.
For few hours a day.
Yeah.
And is Arnold the one training you guys, or do you have a trainer there? Or
It was Arnold and Sven. We trained.
oh, Sven Olsen.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, cool.
And Olsen, yeah.
Zach meant Sven Uli Thorsen.
Yeah. What a guy.
I
What a
love that
guy.
dude. Yeah, we've talked about him on Podcasting After
Yeah.
Dark, right, Corey, on
Yeah,
Captain
big
Hook.
fan. Yeah.
Oh, he's unbelievable, man. He's
He's
a
awesome.
really wonderful guy. Really wonderful guy.
There was a toy line that came out in the 80s called Guts. They were like little military guys, right? But they were like they had jungle guys, they had ninja guys. There was a jungle crew of Guts, and one of them I always thought looked like you
Oh,
a little
God.
bit from Predator.
Oh,
like,
wow. Let me see that.
like a more of a cartoon version of you.
Oh,
And
God.
as a kid,
Look at those arms.
I know.
Wow.
Zach, is that the one with the grenade launcher?
No, he's holding. I'll hold it up to the camera so
Oh, yeah.
everyone can see.
Where
Or
is that?
Richard, you want to hold it up?
Is that it?
Yeah. 'Cause
Oh, yeah, I had that one. I totally had that one.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're gonna call that
Ah.
Poncho. We're gonna call that Poncho Fig.
That's cool, man. That's so cool. I can't believe it.
Yeah, there you go.
Zach,
So-
wow.
Well, I mean, it's like as a kid, in the 80s, my dad took me to see Predator in the theater. I was 9 years old. Richard, I saw it in Roanoke, and
Wow.
the entire I mean, it's the 80s,
Cool.
and the entire summer, seriously, the entire summer, I would go out in the backyard because we had woods right behind us. I'd go out in the backyard and I would play Predator because it's easy because he's invisible, so you can just pretend, But I was
Yeah.
I was never Dutch. I was never anybody else. I was always Poncho because, and I gotta tell you, man, 9-year-old me, I've been waiting my entire life to tell you this. Poncho has always been my favorite member of the rescue team. You were the absolute coolest. And of course, I
Well,
watched
thank
War of
you.
the Worlds as well. But man, Poncho was the absolute coolest.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. I got to tell you, it was the first time I saw it, okay, was a screening at 20th Century Fox. And I'd done a bunch of stuff before, mostly television, a couple of little movie things. And and when it was over, okay, I was like in shock. I literally was in shock. And I left during the credits, okay, and almost ran to my car and speeded home, okay, because I'd never seen myself like that before.
Yeah.
Okay, not quite like that. I mean, 8 is Enough was great, but I played a Marine. I played a
Right.
Marine
Yeah.
captain,
Little
but that was fun.
Little
Okay,
different, yeah.
this was serious.
Yeah.
Knockdown sci-fi, the special effect, the boom, the thing. I'm shooting a weapon. I'm saying all these lines and everything like that. And I went home and I went, and then the phone started ringing. Okay, a couple of people called me from the movie. Sonny Landham, God bless him, calling you. Where'd you go? Where'd you go, Richard? Where everybody wondering what happened to you, man. Come on, what's going on? But I got to tell you, it was
Who played Billy in the movie?
yeah, Billy,
Yeah.
Sonny Landham.
Billy Bear.
God,
Or
God
not Billy
bless
Bear,
him.
but Billy.
Yeah, and I
Billy
got
Bear
to
in the other movie.
yeah, and I
He's
got to
always
say,
Billy Bear.
yeah, he was great. Sonny Land, God bless him, he's in heaven, and Kevin Peter Hall, God bless him, he's in heaven, and Carl Weathers. My heart goes out to all three of them and their family.
Yeah.
It's a big loss. And Carl was really a wonderful, wonderful guy. Very kind to me. They all were. Sonny, it's crazy. Oh man, God bless Sonny. But Sonny was a real knucklehead. He really was at times. I did learn a few things from Sonny, but
Anything you can
people-
repeat on the air?
I'll tell you one thing that he told me. Okay, this is Sonny Landham 100%, and I think everybody would agree with me. Sonny told me one time they didn't want to let us in a club on Pico one night. Okay, and Sonny.
What was the reason? Dress, shoes.
They
drunk
didn't
as-
recognize. They didn't recognize him.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
nobody doesn't
You
recognize
had to
Sonny.
be. You had to be.
I mean,
cool.
come on,
Yeah.
and
Pulls out his knife. He just
yeah, he said, watch this.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, he said to me one time, he goes, Richard, I can go anywhere I want, anytime, and get anything I want. Okay. And I said, what are you talking about? He goes, I will make such a fuss that they will give me what I want just to get me the fuck out of there. Okay. That was Sonny. He was just great. He was a great guy. I mean, Robert
Right.
Robert Forster was also a friend of mine. God bless him. He's
Oh,
passed away
tremendous
too.
actor too. Yeah.
Robert
Yeah.
Forster was a great guy, and he and Sonny would communicate a lot. But Robert called me one day, and I did this crazy movie. I'm not even going to tell you what it was with Sonny one time, and I wish I hadn't done it, but it turned out okay. And Rob,
I know what it is, but we're not.
oh no,
Save that for podcasting.
yeah,
After Dark.
oh my God, please. But and I got to meet Kathy Showers, and that was a great experience.
Oh yeah.
And I worked with Kathy a couple of times.
Okay.
Playboy Playmate of
Correct.
the Year, wonderful woman, really a sweetheart woman. And what was I going to say? Sonny.
So you were just talking about Sonny. Yep.
Yeah, and Sonny, people would come up to me. I mean, like McTiernan came up to me. And he said when I went to the roast at the Friars Club, he goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "What are you doing hanging out with Sonny?" He goes, "You shouldn't hang out with Sonny." And I'm going, I just and to a certain extent, and Robert Forster the same way. God bless him. There was this restaurant on Santa Monica Boulevard that we used to hang out at, and Robert called me one day, and he goes, "Richard, Sonny's doing the movie in Canada. Don't do it." Don't do it.
Wow.
Because he was doing this, that, and the other thing, and God bless him, he's back to I can get anything I want, type of thing. But in my heart, he was an incredible character.
Well, wouldn't you say that Predator is one of his more reserved roles that he's had over the years?
Oh God, yeah.
Because he tends to play a little bit of a hothead at times. I'm thinking of like 48 Hours, for example.
Right.
And
Right.
And in this, he's very subdued. I think out of the whole crew.
And he has a couple of, he really did a couple of guys. We're all gonna die, and I'm going, okay, whoa, really? And but no, he was great. But God bless him. He's gone.
You worked with so many like big guys in that, and then like you and Shane Black are more of the the average typical looking military guy.
Oh, yeah.
These guys are the superhero dudes, right?
man.
Especially with their shirts off and
Oh
everything.
God.
Was that a little imposing, or were you just like along for the ride?
I had my power. Okay. The power that I had was that I'd done it, that I
Right.
for real.
Right.
In the jungles of Vietnam.
Which absolutely comes through on film.
And Jesse the body.
Jesse too, yeah.
Who's great. Jesse and I really formed a relationship because of that, and spent a lot of time talking. Okay, but and he's been very kind to me over the years.
That's great.
And I saw a thing he did, a podcast or something, where he talked about the scene, your hit, your bleeding scene, which is so freaking cool. Man.
I love, yeah.
I love the scene. I'm freaking in it.
Right.
I mean, come on, wow. But it wasn't supposed to be filmed. But I mean, when Jesse talked about it, he said that it was Arnold. Something happened in Arnold, but it wasn't Arnold. It was Sonny Landman got bit by a scorpion. Okay. And Joel Silver came walking through the jungle one day, and he goes, "Your hit, your bleeding scene is out." And Justin and I go, "Wait a minute, man, we're the two goddamn for real vets. Are you kidding me? Come on."
Right.
And that's a great scene. Come on, it's out. And Joel would do that. And, but anyway, Sonny gets bit, okay, by a scorpion in the Palapa. And Jesse and I are at the pool at the Camino Real Hotel. And we're, sitting there having a drink, and, it's our day off, and it's going to be sunny all day. Yeah. And the next thing you know, you see one of the PAs, this girl and she comes running down.
Was it Kathy Shower?
No, it wasn't.
I'm kidding.
And we'll get to Jean-Claude in a minute. But Jesse turns to me and he goes, "They're going to do your hit, your bleeding scene. She's coming to get us, Richard." And I go, "You go, how do you?"
Oh, Jesse says that to you?
Yeah, he said that to me while I was sitting there sipping on what we were drinking. And Sure enough, she comes down. She goes, "They need you on the set. They need you on the set right away. They're going to do your bleeding scene." I'm looking at him. I go, "God Almighty!" And I go to get him. He goes, "Richard, sit down."
Jesse says this to you.
Jesse says, "Richard, sit down." And he tells the girl, he goes, "Go back up and tell them we'll be there in a little bit." Right?
Yeah.
Whoa! Are you kidding me? You see, yeah, exactly. A big.
How far was
So-
the hotel from the set?
At least a half hour.
Okay.
I mean, it was up the road. What do they call that? Well, now it's supposed to be some. I haven't been back down there since, but it's supposed to be some big thing. You know, you go there and the whole set and everything is still there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like a theme or
Yeah.
so, not a theme
And
park,
where
but-
specifically was the location?
In Puerto Vallarta. And then for the majority of the predator scenes, it was in Chiapas, in Villahermosa, Palenque, at the ruins of Palenque, which is a
okay.
whole other thing. So anyway, next thing you know, we're sitting there and I'm going, "Jesse, we ought to go. Just sit there. Just stay,
yeah.
Richard, stay." And here comes the girl again.
Poor girl.
And Jesse goes, "Okay, come on,
Yeah.
Richard, let's go."
Jesse's
Next thing you
like,
know, Jesse and I are in the van. We're going to the set. And honestly, that whole Palapa sequence, okay, that took a month, at least a month, maybe a little bit more to film. And it was pretty intense. The explosion, I almost got
A
killed.
lot going on. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And then you see, the other thing is when there was an explosion in a particular area and the fire's going, they had to recreate the fire again.
wow.
And what they did was a plastic bag with gas in it and throw it on the
Oh,
fire.
wow.
Yeah, because it's safe.
Whoa. And
It's the 80s.
we get there and Jesse and I, get suited up and get the makeup and everything. And we go out and they say to me, they go, "Jesse's going to be over here." There, and there was like a little pond. Okay. "Jesse's going to be over here. And we want you to run across this ledge." Okay. I mean, it was only about this wide. Okay. "We want you to run across this ledge. You're going to get to Jesse, and that's when you're going to begin the dialogue, and then we'll cover it from there." Okay. Great. So they have a master shot of me. Okay. They didn't tell me that they had squibbed the entire
Oh,
1-inch ledge. Okay.
Oh,
So I'm running across this
good God.
one take. Okay. That's one take. And you can see the squibs going off all around my feet. And I'm going, "Don't fall into the water. Get to Jesse, And I make it across and I get to Jesse, cut. And then they go in, for the covers. And but it was just really, really incredible. And I will say this, it was a lot of deja vu for me. Okay. A lot of deja vu for Jesse, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It was a really amazing experience, but at the same time, it was, there were a bunch of times when I was back in Vietnam, traversing through the jungle and stuff like that, the bullets going off, the explosions and everything. It was playtime, but,
How'd you manage that?
you just
You compartmentalize it or?
yeah. For the most part, I was very blessed, okay, Zach, because I did Tracers, the Vietnam play.
Yeah.
In 1980. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't want anybody to know
About your
because
experiences.
about being a Vietnam veteran.
Yeah.
It was not kosher
No.
at all
yeah.
No.
Right.
back then. Okay. And, before I even went to Vietnam, I was on a burial detail from Fort Jackson, South Carolina. There are no Army bases in Florida. So once a month or so, for the guys that were being killed and they were in Florida, we would go down in a bus and we'd go to and perform different funerals. Okay. Military funerals. There would be protesters at
Yeah.
the freaking gates.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
While we're burying this young man.
Right.
From Vietnam. So it was huge. And this was before I went to Vietnam. So in coming back, I didn't talk to anybody, but Xander Berkeley, another actor, we were working in Cafe Figaro's on Melrose.
Okay.
Eclectic, wonderful restaurant.
I used to love that place. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great restaurant. And he came up to me one night and he goes, "Richard, you're a Vietnam veteran." I said, "Well,
Yeah.
What? How did you find out, man?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, don't tell anybody. And he goes, look, they're looking for professional actors who are Vietnam veterans to do a play about Vietnam at the Odyssey Theater.
Okay.
And the Odyssey Theater at that time, and still to this day, is one of the great theaters in Los Angeles. They were doing the Chicago conspiracy trial and bombing Gilead. And I said, I'm not interested at all. Xander cut out of the drama log, which I think is now the backstage. He cut it out and he goes, he put it in some money.
Yeah.
Okay. And in the heat of the night, he goes, Richard, this is on table 5. That's sly woodpecker head, man.
I love it.
Woo.
I love it.
So I get home to my little $200 a month apartment down at Pico in La Brea, okay, the barbecue district then. And I'm counting my money, okay, and boom, there it is. I said, you peckerwood.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, that's Roanoke stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Right, Corey?
Or he's like, I still call myself a Peckerwood.
Yep.
And so we get
Represent.
Oh man, I get down there, I say, oh, this Kismet, this is okay. I got to do, and I was going to school at Warner Brothers, at the Film Actors Workshop at Warner Brothers, which was a great learning experience because they put us on camera. Okay, there was the Film Industry Workshop at CBS, the Film Actors Workshop at Warner Brothers would be at the time on the big beta machine. So you could do blocking, you could do lighting, you could do hitting your mark and everything. So the next morning, I knew that the director, John DeFusco, who conceived the idea, directed the process, and was one of the co-authors, was doing Bomb and Gilead at the Odyssey. And I said, I'm not going to send this in. So I got a picture and resume and a copy of my DD-214, and I showed up at the theater and I gave it to him. And I was cast in this play.
Wow.
Now, getting back to how did you deal with it? Okay. That helped me to deal with it immensely. Okay.
Doing tracers.
Getting up on stage every night. And it was an exorcism at first, for the most part, and incredible learning experience as an actor. And it was myself, Vincent Caristi, John DeFusco, Rick Gallivan, Merlin Marston, Eric E. Emerson, Harry Stevens with Sheldon Lettich, all professional,
We had Sheldon on the show.
all Vietnam veterans.
Yeah.
And then we won the Los Angeles Drama Critics Circle Award for Best Ensemble. We beat out Bleacher Bums, the Chicago thing. And then Gary Sinise and his wife Moira came to see the play at the Odyssey, and they wanted it for the Steppenwolf in Chicago. We didn't want to do it. We wanted to carry it ourselves. And the next thing you know, I did another play called Vietnam Trilogy, which was made into the movie Ceasefire with Don Johnson.
Yeah.
Won a drama
Nick
log
Nolte,
award
I
for
believe.
that.
Was he in that?
No,
he was not
no.
in that.
No, this was probably the very first movie about PTSD.
Okay.
Excellent movie. George Fernandez and David Nutter was the director.
Okay. Great.
And so then Gary came at us again, and we agreed to let him do it for 12 weeks at the Steppenwolf. Big success, huge success. And after I did the movie Ceasefire, I said, I'm going to New York. I'm going to go to New York. I got to be in New York. And I had a feeling that it was going to come. I went and saw the play in Chicago. The next thing you know, John calls me and he goes, I got a meeting with Tommy Bird from the Vietnam Veterans Ensemble Theater Company and Manny Eisenberg, okay, the big producer. And I think we have an in with Joseph Papp. Joseph Papp had already turned the play down once.
Okay.
And so the next thing you know, John comes in. We have the meeting with Manny. Manny says, go to Joseph Papp. Tommy Bird had gone back to Vietnam, okay, with Joe Papp. A lot of people don't know that Joe went back to Vietnam.
Wow.
In 1982, I think it was, somewhere around in there. And so we had the meeting with Joe, and it was me and John and Tom Bird, and it's a great story. And he comes in the meetings. Cohen was there, and his wife was there. And Joe Papp's office, okay, one of the greatest institutionalized producers ever. And he walks in and he's got a cigar. Okay. And he goes, he always called us boys, his boys. He goes, boys, I read 2 plays last night, The Normal Heart and yours. It was one of the most devastating evenings of my life.
Oh.
He turns to it, he goes, are you willing to have David Barry come in, dramaturge who had written GR, I think it was GR Point. David Barry's a Vietnam veteran. Unfortunately, he committed suicide. He jumped off the freaking Long Island, Staten Island ferry into the water.
Wow.
And yes, no problem. And rewrites with David, casting some of the New York Vietnam veteran professional actors, Anthony Chisholm, Brian Dellett, and a couple of the other guys, really wonderful actors, cast them, bring them in. And then Benny Christie and I were the 2 guys that came back from the original. And it was opening night. Joseph Papp, the reviews come out. Joseph Papp gets on a chair in the foyer of the Public Theater and he goes, I have 3 reviews. They're all raves. I'm going to read one. And he reads the Frank Rich review from the New York Times. Man, oh man, a Chaves, baby. It's unbelievable. It was one of the greatest nights of my life. And then, so getting
That's
up on
wonderful.
stage every night. And then, he goes, every Joe Papp play, he'd give us to Broadway. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about it. And the day comes and he goes, boys,
Boys.
I'm not going to send you. You're not going to Broadway. What are you talking about? Oh my God, come on, Joe, what are you doing? What's going on? Shh. He goes, I'm going to send you to London.
Wow.
Fuck Broadway. We're going to London, baby. To the Royal Court Theater in London. Hello. And so we did a sold out run. David Bowie. I mean, the people that came to see Tracers, okay. Robert De Niro, Harvey Keitel, and Roland Joffrey came all the same night.
Wow.
We had a standing ovation almost every night. Thank you, God.
Yeah.
And there was one guy, we were all there. We went down to the dressing room, okay? And we didn't know who it was. There was one guy up there, he wasn't standing. Who's up? Right? We didn't know who it was.
Joel Silver.
Joel, right. And the next day, Michael was a stage manager for Hair and for Chorus Line, and he was our stage manager, okay? And he goes, we got a telegram from Harvey Keitel. And the telegram read, he goes, I apologize for not standing last night. I'm standing now, Harvey Keitel.
Wow.
And, just so many wonderful people came to the biggest of the big. I mean,
Right.
I could go on. I mean, O.J. Simpson came one night.
They're like the biggest of the big.
The biggest of the
O.J.
big, baby.
Simpson.
I'll tell you though, he came down, it was at the Odyssey. And after the show, we have a little discussion or something. I didn't even have no idea that he was there. And we go to pick up our gear after the show, and Rick Gallivan, he turns to me and goes, Richard, there's this black guy. He's up in the top of the thing. We turned around and go, hi, how you doing? Then he comes down and realizes it's O.J. Simpson.
Juice.
It's the Juice, okay?
Because this is what, like
1981.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
1981.
Okay.
Towering Inferno had already come out. He's launched his
He's
acting
gigantic.
career.
He's huge.
He's the spokesperson for Hertz at the time.
Oh yeah, he was
Yeah.
gigantic. He comes down, true story, and I go to shake his hand, okay? You shake my hand, like I'm OJ and
Yeah.
you're me.
Yeah.
He goes, whoa. He said, be careful, man. That guy still got a lot of arthritis and stuff in there. He couldn't give me a big handshake. I played golf with him, blah, blah, blah. God bless him, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Wow. Well, I mean, look,
And God bless the family.
for people that want to pursue a career in either theater, music, anything entertainment related, you get that one, if you get that one moment in your life
Mhm.
and you can look back on that one moment and say, this was the most meaningful point in my career. Like
Mhm.
you've had quite a few, but
been
that
blessed.
one in particular, like
Mhm.
the emotion on your face,
Right.
we could feel it. We could feel it,
Mhm.
how special that is. And for also it to be about something that is so personal for you,
Mhm.
and for you to be able to, it's therapy at the same time,
It was-
processing,
yeah.
right? And this allows you, not everybody gets that opportunity,
No.
but what a beautiful way to process what you've been through
Mhm.
and allow you to further continue your career and then go on to do something like Predator,
Mhm.
which is the most testosterone fueled,
Yeah.
awesome action epic
Wow.
film.
Thank you. man.
Many consider it one of the best action movies of all time,
Mhm.
definitely of the 80s.
I mean, it still looks great in 2024. It still holds up to today, you know?
And for you to be on set and be okay with all of that going on,
Mhm.
the chaos,
Mhm.
and yeah, like beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that story with us.
Oh, absolutely. It's my pleasure. Oh, the other one. Do we have some more time? Are
Yeah.
we okay?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. There are a few things we want to talk about in regards to War of the Worlds, but
No, I've been so blessed. I got to tell you, it was just an amazing experience. So I'm coming to the play one night.
Yeah.
And this was later in New York at the Public, which was, I mean, Jesus, I was in a hit play at the Public Theater. Predator, War of the Worlds, Star Trek, Voyager, Babylon 5, all those things. I thank you, God in heaven. And they all came from Tracers. They all saw me in the play.
Yeah.
And the majority of the stuff that I got came from that play.
Wow.
But I'm coming into the foyer of the Public to do the play one night, and Brian Dellett, great actor, wonderful actor, Vietnam veteran, helicopter door gunner. We were stationed in the same place, July, and he was there about he left a couple of months before I got there, the American Division. And I'm walking in the foyer and he's like jumping up and down, man. He grabs me, he picks me up. He goes, "Congratulations, Richard, congratulations." And I go, "What did I do now?" He goes, "You won the New York Theater World Award for debut performance on or off Broadway." I said,
Wow.
"Knucklehead." Okay. Knucklehead.
Peckerwood.
Peckerwood. Sly Woodpeckerwood. Okay.
Oh, that's great.
He goes, and then, "Are you kidding me? You don't know what the New York Theater World Award is? It's older than the Tonys, you dummy." He grabbed me by my collar and he takes me down into the basement to the bulletin board. Okay.
Wow.
And, oh man, are you kidding me?
That's huge.
It's gigantic. It's
Yeah.
gigantic. Whoopi Goldberg, God bless her, may she rot in hell. I just wish she would start acting again. She was a brilliant actor.
We were just talking about
He won that year.
Fatal Beauty that she did with Sam Elliott in the 80s, directed by Tom Holland, who did Fright Night and Child's Play, and it's a lesser known film. And she was fantastic in that. Yeah.
Oh, she's a great actress. But
yeah.
she won that year for her one-woman show, and a bunch of other people. Tortura won. And I got a great picture with Giancarlo Esposito, which I posted.
Yeah, you posted.
I saw
Everybody
that.
should. We'll have links
Yeah.
to your social media pages as well on our show notes, and people should check
cool.
that out. But he's a fantastic actor as well.
He's
But
really, really great.
you're with us, and I wanted to ask you. I also want to talk about LA Takedown because that personally has a soft spot for myself. War of the Worlds.
Wow.
A little fun fact. When I came down to LA, I was in a band. The first band I was in LA, the guitarist is H.G. Wells' grandson,
Great Scott.
Simon
Wow.
Wells. So one day he brings out this book. He's like, "Oh, you want to see this?" It was the original War of the Worlds first edition book.
Oh, wow.
Signed by H.G. Wells to Simon,
Hello.
his grandson.
Hello.
And I'm just looking at that like, can I touch it?
Really?
And here you are. This I remember when that show came out. We covered it on TV Obscura, which is a part of Podcasting After Dark. How much we loved that show, and how groundbreaking it was for the time, because it was a syndicated show, right?
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about how you got cast in that and process?
Well, I got to tell you, it was really it was an experience. Sonny Landham.
Oh, back to Sonny.
Sonny called me, okay, and said, I went up for this thing and I think I'm going to get it and blah, blah, blah. And I think maybe you should, get in touch with your agent and blah, blah, blah. And so I did. And Sonny dropped out. Okay.
Okay.
And
He got bit by a scorpion.
he got bit by a scorpion
Keep
again,
getting-
Dustin.
At a club.
Dustin, You're-
There's
you're
a
like-
pattern. There's a pattern.
Man, oh,
Sonny.
man.
Yeah.
wow. He's like
That's,
your insight guy.
Quick,
know?
right?
Wow, that's bit by a scorpion. Yeah. Well, what happened was that he was asking for the sun, the moon, and the stars.
Mm.
And so then Maggie got me the interview, and it was with the Strangers, okay, Sam and Greg Strangers,
Okay.
and then I met Sam later, and I wanted to do it, but I didn't want to do it because the money, and my agent Maggie said, and they wanted it to be a buyout, okay.
Oh.
Hello,
Yeah.
and I'm going, no. And because I had, let me tell you something, the residuals from Predator, real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Sonny, I asked Sonny one day, I said, what do you think the residuals are going to be like from Predator? And he goes, what are you, fucking crazy? He goes, you're going to make more money in residuals than you ever made doing the show.
Yeah.
And I said,
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
quadruple. Okay.
Right.
So, I mean, really, thank you. God.
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
And but it was going to be a buyout, and I go, I don't know. And Maggie didn't want to. And the financial guy for Henderson Hogan said, "Don't do it."
Yeah.
Okay. And but they came back, and then they came back again, and they upped it and upped it. Okay.
Okay.
And so I said, yeah. And really, it really helped Henderson Hogan because they were in a bad spot. So it really helped them as well with their percentage. Then the next thing you know, I get it. And I'm at the Sudden Place Hotel in Toronto. Okay. And the lead hadn't been cast yet. Jared Martin, okay, had not been cast yet. And they brought in the guy from Flashdance.
Oh, Michael Nori.
They brought Michael Nuri in.
Yeah.
So they bring Michael Nuri in.
He would have been pretty good in that.
He was really nice. He was really nice. And he comes in to meet Greg and Sam. Okay. And he's with Cheryl Teague.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Charlie's Angel.
Charlie's Angel. So Michael says, Richard, why don't you hang out with Cheryl while I'm talking? And Greg goes, yeah, you're going, sure.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to hang out with her.
Yeah, why not?
What are you, crazy? No, are you kidding me? So it was really
He's all right.
Yeah, she's okay. Yeah. She was really nice. She was really kind, but I got to hang out with Cheryl T, man. It was like incredible. But Michael didn't get it. Next thing you know, they bring in Jared Martin. And Jared Martin, superb, absolutely incredible actor.
But you guys balance each other well. I
Mm.
feel like Michael Nori has like a brooding kind of
Mhm.
intensity about him
Mhm.
that I feel like you have as well.
Mhm.
And I don't know if that chemistry would have been
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah, Jared was just Jared was great. He knew the comedy in it, you know,
Yeah.
because there was a real push towards making it a little bit loosey goosey, okay, and funny.
Well, the
okay?
first season was definitely not. And we
No.
talked about this on the show. It was dark, very dark. And our good friend David Irons even pointed out the fact that there was a lot more gore in that first season. And then the second season is a little more lighthearted. So was that always the intention then? For it to be more lighthearted?
See, I think it's the opposite.
Okay.
It was a little bit. I think it was more funny in the thing because there were some comedy lines in the second season was the one that was completely dark, and they got rid of the black guy and the Indian.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of that.
Right.
Well, see, there wasn't any social DEI back then.
No,
or else we'd be having season 20 right now.
Right.
No,
It's a shame because we love that show. We
was a
love
great-
it. And
And it's got a great following too. I mean, it's got a huge cult following, and we always get a lot of feedback on that episode. But yeah, that was one of my favorites from my childhood. Hell, I still have the DVD. I pop it in at night and everything before I go to bed. I love that
man.
show as a
That
kid.
was you that sent me the message?
Yeah, yes.
That's right. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
on
cool.
Instagram,
I
yeah.
really like that. I'm going, oh my God. You know, it was, I got to tell you, War
I
of the
thought you were making a
Worlds.
joke. Like
was very-
that was you, the one guy that watched
No,
it?
no, on Instagram, I commented on it. Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Oh man, you made my heartstrings just go bing,
Oh.
bing. Oh wow, somebody's watching it again. Whoa. No, but and did you have the DVD? You got the DVD,
The
of
box
course,
set,
right?
yeah. But
you
I
see-
only have season one. I only have season one.
Did you see what they did to my face on the cover? It doesn't even look like me.
I know.
Okay, everybody's worried about this AI thing now.
Right,
I mean, they've been
right,
doing this for a long
right.
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really didn't even and who did, I don't know. But anyway, the most important thing was that in and on the disc, you can't, I don't think you could change me, but
No,
no,
but I was going to ask you, because there are a couple questions from our listeners and fans that we want to ask you.
absolutely.
But can you talk a little bit about LA Takedown really quick?
LA
For
Takedown.
those that don't know,
Mhm.
it is Heat.
It
was
is,
Heat
yeah.
before Heat.
Oh, here,
Michael
here.
Mann made this
Great.
made-for-television film, NBC.
Right.
I think it was NBC that put it out.
I believe it was. The only pilot that didn't go.
Right. So
A Michael Mann pilot, and it doesn't go.
yeah, so he's got, Miami Vice, he's got Crime Story, both
Mhm.
tremendously awesome shows. And then LA Takedown comes out.
Mhm.
It is Heat, and I recommend anyone go out and watch it. It's a shame it's not on
It's a
physical media.
It's a good piece.
It
really
is.
It's a good piece. A lot of good people in it.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
played Lou Casales,
Mhm.
right? Who was recast as Wes Studi in the feature film.
Great. Another actor that I work. I did a play with Wes Studi called The Pendleton Blanket, an Indian play for the Mark Taper Forum.
Oh, cool.
Great guy. This was a long time ago.
Yeah, he did a great job
Yeah.
in Heat, and I
He's
personally
brilliant.
love Heat. But LA Takedown, wow, what a I love it. I love that
Mhm.
film. Can you talk a little bit about working on that movie?
It was a great experience. Xander Berkeley was
Yeah,
in it as
yep.
well, and a lot of great people. Michael was great. And he was very kind to me.
He
I
was,
mean, we
okay.
went, and he was also really into the authenticity of the firearms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we went to a firing range out in somewhere Lancaster or something
Mhm.
like that, and he had some really good instructors and stuff like that that helped us with the police aspect of what it's like to fire a weapon and be in undercover or plain clothes.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're with Al Pacino has played his character.
Scott Plank.
Vincent Hanna. Scott
Right.
Plank played him.
Scott
Scott
Plank.
Plank is a very underrated actor as well.
Yeah,
And
it's a
unfortunately passed
shame.
away. Yeah, it's super shame.
Yeah.
And Alex MacArthur played the Robert De Niro role.
Right. Excellent.
Again, people should go check that
Yeah,
film out
really
because
good.
it's really, really good.
Yeah.
And working with Michael Mann, who I consider one
Mhm.
of the greatest directors of all
He was the
time.
greatest. And
yeah.
then, so I met him. I was at Musso and Frank's one day, and we talked for a little bit. After that, then the next thing I know, I get a call from Maggie, and she goes, "They want you on Miami Vice."
Yeah.
And I'm going,
Yes.
"Oh man, I'm gonna go on," because when I did Ceasefire
With Don Johnson.
with Don Johnson in Miami, okay,
Okay.
NBC and all the executives came to the set the very last day. It was the greatest death scene I've ever done. Okay, Ceasefire. It was just incredible. He kills me to save me in the movie.
Mm.
So the people came to check Don out. Okay, and to make sure that they wanted him for the part in Miami Vice.
Right.
And then after everything was solidified with him, I interviewed for Miami Vice
Okay.
to play the almost part.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Episode is of Teresa. That's the name of the episode.
yeah, the Teresa's great. Let me tell you something. I worked with Helen Bonham Carter.
Hmm.
I arrived at the hotel, okay, when I first flew in, and I didn't know. I had no clue as to who she was.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know,
this
I'd
is like
never,
1988 or something.
yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
I'd never seen her before. And of course, I had a couple of scenes with her, and wow, even to this day, I think about that. And I think about the time that we spent together in the hotel and saying hello and everything like that, everything innocent. But gee, many Christmas. Now, you know, it's a very proud thing for me to say I worked with Helen Bonham Carter. Very proud thing to say that I worked with Michael Mann and Don, and you know, the movie was just coming out, Ceasefire.
Yeah.
And he was very kind. And this was the last show before the Christmas break.
Okay.
And there were a lot of heavyweight people in that Teresa episode.
Yeah.
I mean, and he got up, Don did, and he acknowledged me. He acknowledged me and said, get emotional. He goes, I just want everybody to know that Richard Chaves is a Vietnam veteran. And we did a movie together called Ceasefire, which is coming out. And it was very gratifying, very kind of him, you know.
Yeah.
But Michael, man, wow, what a guy. I'm so proud of him, and so proud of the fact that I was able to work with him and for him.
Well, what I'm noticing is throughout this interview, you keep commenting on all these people you worked with and what an honor it was for you to work with them. But I think the same can be said for working with you.
Oh,
and
thank
you need to take that in as well. For this being your first podcast and being a
yeah.
part of the show, thank you for regaling us with these stories and sharing some really intimate moments of your life. It's really special, I know, for everyone listening and watching, and for us particularly.
I got to tell you, I've been blessed, truly blessed. You know, I mean, I've worked with some great Anthony Quinn, Raul Julia, Jane Seymour.
I mean,
I could go on and on and on. And the people that were so kind. One of the proudest things for me, guys, is that I was able to contribute my experiences through tracers and be a part of the healing. I mean, Ron Kovic is a friend. God bless him. I haven't talked to him in a long time. But and Bobby Mueller and all those guys, you know, I decided, and John DeFusco asked me if I would go into I wasn't in a wheelchair in the original production. And then when we went to New York, John asked me if I would do my two right after Vietnam and 10 years later scenes of like monologues in a wheelchair. And I said, man, oh man, I don't know. I don't know. That's pretty heavy. And then we were already in contact with Ron and a couple of other people who were in wheelchairs that came in, and I said, okay, let me do it. And that was an incredible experience. So Ron called me and he goes, I want you to hook up with, I think his name was Robert, I'm almost positive, but it was such a heavy situation. He shows up at the Public Theater in wheelchair. Okay. And back then, okay, you couldn't go just about anywhere.
Yeah, the accessibility
The
wasn't
accessibility
what it
wasn't
is
even happening.
now. Yeah.
And
Still isn't available to many people to this day, but it's getting better.
And so here I am, and I'm going, and so I get the wheelchair that they had for me, and I go down on the street with him. Okay. I mean, it was like,
So
he was gone. Okay.
Oh, to race?
We're not racing.
race.
I mean, I don't know.
No, we're not.
You
No,
said you went down on the
Just-
street with him and he's gone. So,
just to keep up with.
oh,
them.
gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was just starting to figure it out. You know, and so it took me a while. It took me a while to even feel as though I would do it and be respectful.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Because that was the most important thing to me. I didn't want to disrespect anybody who was handicapped. I mean, I was
Authenticity.
the most important thing, you know, especially if you're going to do it for trial. You can't do that today. There are no character actors, really. It's got to be that guy.
No, unfortunately,
And
we
so-
miss that. We cherish that on both
Yeah.
podcasts. We talk about that sad fact that there are these great iconic character actors that we don't see
Yeah.
anymore. I
Mhm.
really quickly before we wrap up, there's a couple questions and they're both about Predator, which I think we should get to. Cam Sully, who's a listener and a fan of both shows, says, "Do you remember pranking Kevin Peter Hall by putting frogs in his hotel room while filming Predator?"
Well, now, Now,
Are you allowed to tell us?
oh, of course. Okay. I'll tell you really quick two stories. One of the stories is that it didn't happen to Kevin,
Okay.
as I remember.
Okay.
It happened to Stan Winston and me. Okay.
Okay.
They double sheeted my bed and put all these bugs in there.
Ew. Gert.
Oh
This
no.
was in Palenque in Villa Hermosa.
Okay.
And then I just talked to, I think it was Steve Wang or Shane, who were part of Stan Winston's crew,
Okay.
who I met at Monster Palooza. Two incredible guys. And they reiterated that it had happened to Stan.
Okay.
But the thing about Kevin, Kevin, Shane came to me when it was me and Shane and Kevin and Arnold, and those were the only ones that they brought down to Chiapas.
Okay.
And the rest of the guys didn't come. And we were down there for a month and a half almost. At least I was there for a month. So Shane comes to me and he goes, we're going to challenge, the actors are going to challenge the special effects guys to a Trivia Pursuit game.
Okay.
So we
Remember that, fans? From the
yeah,
80s?
Trivia Pursuit. Remember, whoa.
With the little pie pieces?
Boy,
Yeah.
that
flashlights.
disappeared, didn't it?
Trivia Pursuit. Anyway.
I know why, it was trivial.
Uh,
Anyway, we go to Kevin. Kevin, we're going to challenge these guys to Trivia Pursuit. He goes, I can't play. What are you talking about? It would be cheating. What are you talking
yeah,
about?
what?
He goes, I know all the answers. Yes, God is my witness. I know all the answers.
Kevin Peter Hall, by the way, very tall
Oh,
man, played
yeah.
Harry and Harry and the Hendersons, but he's on a show called, what was it, Corey?
Misfits of Science, which we
Misfits
of
absolutely
Science.
loved. He was great in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He never played sports.
And he was the Predator for anyone.
Was
Yeah, he was-
Who's
yes.
a little layman.
He
If
was-
you're coming in.
he was in the suit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was in the suit.
And so Kevin goes, I can't play, it'd be cheating. He goes, I know, wait a minute. Whether it's cheating or it's not cheating, okay? We want to win.
Just be on
You
our
know-
team.
yeah,
It
be
doesn't
on our
matter,
team.
Right. We don't care. if
And you know all the
you know
answers?
Yeah.
He memorized all the answers, okay? When he was growing up.
Fair. Look,
Unbelievable.
I respect
But
that.
they
a lot.
awesome.
They updated the game with many different kinds, right? So I guess
Oh,
at this
the
point they had
80s. I don't think they updated in the
right
80s.
until later.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like
Is
in the 90s, that's when it changed.
All right.
They had to
But
reinvent
man,
themselves.
man.
All right.
Well, we destroyed them. We
Okay.
destroyed, we
As you should. Who cares? Whatever.
humiliated them,
Right.
the actors, right? And that was one of the stories.
Amazing.
The other story was that now we're in Villa Hermosa and Palenque, okay? I think in Villa Hermosa there was a regular runway, okay? But in Palenque where we were, it was so I'm in my room and I'd gotten a little funky stuff from being in Puerto Vallarta for those 3 months, okay? So I brought a bunch of food down with me. I have a canned tuna fish and stuff like that, you know? So I'm sitting in my room in my underwear and all of a sudden the door opens, okay? And it's Jesse the Body and McMahon from
Yeah, Vince McMahon
Vince
from
McMahon.
WWF at the time.
And I'm sitting there going, what in the, are you doing? What? He goes, Richard, we came down here. We want Arnold to be in WrestleMania.
Oh, God.
And we want you to talk to him. You got to convince him.
You
I
gotta
said,
convince him. Oh
I'm
my
going to,
God.
you know, like I'm
Right,
going to
right.
convince Arnold to do something. God, he's the master. He's the, you know, he's,
Yeah.
and so, but they're really thinking, they got the pass key. Well, I mean, when you see these two guys coming at you, you're going to give them anything. So they gave him the freaking pass key. I'm in my underwear eating out of a tuna fish can.
God.
Okay.
Just come in your room.
And they burst into my room.
And you're wearing underwear,
Vince
which,
McMahon.
no offense, guys in their underwear.
Oh, my
Vince McMahon's
God.
used to seeing that sort of thing. So
Well,
Jesse. So.
Oh, well,
I love wrestling, but you
they
know.
were shocked and surprised at my manliness, but that's another story. Um,
That's your Richard Chaves.
oh God, what a braggart. Anyway,
What a peckerwood.
so what a flywood, flywood.
There you go. Sorry.
So they go, you've got to talk to Arnold. You got to talk to Arnold. And I didn't tell them, but Arnold has already told me, okay, these guys didn't want me to do it. They almost crashed the jet. Okay. They weren't supposed to be there.
Oh
It was getting dark. It was getting dark, and I mean, it was really close. Okay?
McMahon and Ventura.
And Jesse Ventura came down in a jet plane, all the way from the States.
Because Ventura was still working for WWF at the time.
Right. So, go and talk to him. Go and talk to him. So I went and I said, and Arnold didn't know that they were there yet. Okay. And so I go and I said, Arnold, Jesse the Body and Vince McMahon, they just busted into my room. Oh, you must be kidding. He was going, what did he used to say? He goes, what a couple of low foreheads. Okay.
Foreheads?
Low foreheads. That was a biggie.
That's funny.
Oh God. But I think he ended up doing it, but initially he didn't want
I think he did
to do it.
a few years later.
Yeah. And I told him, I said, I mean, you know what's going to happen? They're going to try and make a fool out of you.
Yeah, they're going to put him in a match.
Yeah.
They're going to put him in a match or something, and knock him
King
out.
Kong Bundy or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Like what they did to what's his name?
Mickey Rourke.
The DT, Donald.
Oh, yeah.
Trump,
That's
the Trump.
yeah, totally.
I got to tell you that. So that was Predator, and Kevin Peter Hall. Kevin Peter Hall was so big, I don't even think he fit in the bed.
Well,
but there were bugs there.
Well, and I think the question came
Ken.
from a Starlog quote, basically, which I think even then it wasn't quite correct. The Starlog quote.
No, I mean, Kevin, nobody, Kevin was too big even for the bed. I think they had to put it like a double bed together or something.
I'm glad we have that all wrapped up now.
Yeah.
The answer has been finally solved after all these years.
Oh, thank God.
Starlog.
Oh, yes.
David Ullman, who's a friend and a fan of the show, has a question. He says, as long as it doesn't put you in a tricky spot, he'd be curious to know if you had any interactions with the muscles from Brussels, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, yeah.
In the Predator suit, because for those that don't know, he was in the original Predator suit back in the day. Any things you can say about Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Okay. Jean-Claude and I got along pretty well. And a few days into him being there and putting on the suit and everything, I get a call from the office, and it's Joel Silver. And I'm going, okay. And I go down, and John McTiernan is there, and Joel's there, and he goes, Richard, you're getting along with Jean-Claude, right? And he goes, yeah. I said, he's a great guy. He's been really kind to me. And they go, you got to talk to him. You got to talk to him. I said, what do you mean? He goes,
this is just like the same, like Jesse Burston. You got to talk to. This is like
yeah, you got
to. You're the
They'll-
ambassador, the middleman.
I'm the ambassador, in
Got to talk to him.
You got to talk to this guy because he
Gotta
wants
convince him.
his face to be seen. You got to convince. Can you talk to him?
Makes no.
It makes no fucking sense at all.
Yeah.
And then
Coming from him, that
and the
makes sense.
suit, yeah, coming from him, it made a lot of sense. So I just let me just say he was very kind to me.
Yes, I've heard that about
Jean-Claude.
him.
Yeah.
Is
So
he hungry? That's my question.
yeah. But he had a 2-picture deal with Menahem Golan already.
Yeah,
So he I want my face to be seen.
of course.
My pitch to him was, when I went to see him, I said, look, you move like nobody in the world. Nobody
Right.
can move like you. Everyone will know, whether they see your face or not, that it's you, Jean-Claude.
Imagining the Predator doing
That
a
it's
split
you.
between
Exactly,
two screens, you know,
exactly.
stuff. You're like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
wish I would have suggested that at the time. But I said, man, no, they're going to know it's you. They're going to know it's you. Well, the thing that came out was they started filming him in the suit. You agreed, to get in the suit and film it. And they were sending the dailies back to Fox, and that was it. They go, it looks like a rat. And Joel wanted him out. He wanted him
Yeah.
gone. And I think John McTiernan wanted him gone as well, because he's Jean-Claude Van Damme. Let's just
sure.
say that. Okay.
Yeah.
And so boom. It was like one of the greatest days for Joel to say, take a hike.
And
Okay.
thank God that happened. And
Yeah.
and you know,
Oh
like you
man,
said, Kismet, everything happens for a reason, right?
here, Kismet,
So
Kismet.
I love that. I love that you.
And I have nothing else to say about John Claude.
That's a
Yeah.
nice way to end it.
God bless him.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
He
really
loves
is.
animals, which I always respect anybody that loves animals. So I
Mhm.
appreciate that aspect
Right,
of him.
right.
There is something I do want to ask you, Richard.
Mhm.
I'm curious about your awareness of the obviously Predator has a very unique credits sequence at the end of the movie.
Right.
And that credit sequence, there's this weird phenomenon out there that has gone viral that if you take that credit sequence and you match it to any 80s sitcom theme song, it matches perfectly. And I
No
was
way.
curious if you were aware.
I wasn't aware of
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
send you
It's
the
one of the
link to it.
best.
Would
It's
you
one
do
of the
that?
best things the internet
It's-
has come up with recently. Yeah.
It really
No
is.
way.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. And it always brings me joy anytime I see it.
Oh man.
Oh,
If
cool.
It's like you're in a bad mood and you just watch, you
Uh-huh.
know, like
Oh,
Growing
that's
Pains,
too
Family
cool.
Matters, whatever it is, and it matches perfectly. There's not
Wow.
one song that doesn't work. When they were shooting that, I mean, obviously it was clear. Was that
Mhm.
clear to you? Like this is for the end credits?
Here, here.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
we're just gonna
yeah.
play around and
Right, exactly. And I'm going,
yeah.
wow. I mean, there were so many cool things,
right.
so many cool things, Dustin, you wouldn't believe. And that was really, that day was really a great day. And we were all together, you know, and one at a time and gaming on each other.
Yeah,
from,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
from the, you know,
yeah.
oh, that's macho, mucho macho.
So the original, obviously, you have
Yeah.
the wink, right?
Right.
All right.
You
It's
know.
a very subtle wink.
Yeah.
And then
Cookie.
Shane Black's looking at his comic book.
He's got his little
Yeah, everyone
hat.
kind of is like looking away, but then they look back up.
Really cool.
Jesse
Jesse,
Spitz,
wow,
and of course,
the
Arnold.
man.
But he doesn't do it. He's like, this was just another scene. He didn't. He wasn't
Right,
part of that credit
right.
sequence, right?
No, he
Yeah.
wasn't.
He
Yeah.
didn't want to,
No.
or he just wasn't asked, or what?
I think there may have been a conflict
He
of
was-
schedule or
He was
something like
doing
that.
wrestling that day.
Well, you
He was
gotta
at WrestleMania.
remember that he disappeared for a couple of weeks because he married Maria.
Oh yeah.
We
Mm.
didn't talk about that. I mean, I got a phone call
He
that the day that they came back from getting married, Maria came with them. Okay.
Okay.
And so they went on a mini married in the Hamptons or wherever that was, the Kennedy compound. And then they came back. That first day that he was back was 14 hours in the jungla. Okay.
Oh.
Now, like I said before, I almost I was bit by red ants. I had like 7, I went into shock. This was before we started filming.
Wow.
And I had my gigantic arms and everything like that. And I had to wear long sleeves for like the first month or so. And I'm in the shower picking ticks. I had ticks.
Oh God.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so I was picking ticks off my groin area. And there was a phone in the
Vince
bathroom.
McMahon burst through the door.
Right. And Ventura and Vince McMahon.
You want to be Snake Robert?
Can I help you?
Yeah.
Um,
He's gonna convince Arnold to.
But I get a phone call, and and this is how the phone goes. Hello, in the shower's running, and I'm looking at my crotch, and I said, hello. And they go, is this Richard? I said, yes, who is this? And the voice goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm picking ticks off of my balls, is what I'm doing. Who is this? And it goes, this is Maria.
Oh.
Maria. Oh my God. She goes, oh, I'm sorry to bother you, Richard, but we'd like for you, we're going to have a little party when you get up here so that I can meet you and everything. And I said, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed, blah, blah, blah. She goes, and she's laughing. And then I'm laughing. I hung up the phone. And it was Maria calling me, and I'm naked in the shower. God bless her. Oh, no.
Wow.
I will say this. She is one. She helped me a lot when my father had Alzheimer's. Okay. And she was very kind. And
That's great.
to this day, I love her. I just think she's one of the greatest women in the world.
That's awesome.
She can put a collar on me and leave me alone.
I met her when I was chaperoning kids as a teacher when he was governor. So
Uh-huh.
we went to Sacramento and visited the
Mhm.
Capitol. And so
Yeah.
she came out and talked to the kids and
Mhm.
she was fantastic. But
See, now that I'm back in a way,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
there are all these really cool things that are happening for me and that I'm seeing And I got to tell you, the kindness and the appreciativeness of everybody is just overwhelming. You guys, Corey, Dustin, and Zach, to be on the show, and it's humbling and it's rewarding and it's a gas, man.
Yeah, right on.
You sly woodpecker head.
Hey,
Pleasure is ours.
that's
Pleasure
the
is
best
ours.
way to wrap it up. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Richard, for
Yeah.
being on.
Thank
the
you,
show.
Richard.
Very welcome,
Really.
guys. God bless. Be safe.